taking some time to keep it real. I'm gonna give it to you straight up in your face with no chasers. All I'm trying to do, love, spreading love, real love, putting y'all up on game. Pay attention, make sure the energy is what it needs to be. Uplifting, peaceful, drama-free. That's all I'm trying to be. Real talk, good words. That's all I'm trying to spread in the streets. Love, old school love, new school love, motivation love. I wanna give it to you with no apologies. Love, keep you smiling. Love, that's all I'm trying to do. Love, love, love. What up, though? How y'all beautiful people doing on this beautiful sunny afternoon in the D? I'm so happy it's not hot as it was these past couple weeks, but I am happy to be here at Poetic with you. I am your host, Rosemarie Wilson, aka One Single Rose when I'm nice, aka Pearl when I'm naughty, aka Queen Rose on the house music tip. And thank you guys so much for the love that you have been showing to Poetic these past few weeks. This is a new venture, a new journey, a new poetic interlude for me, and it's just been an amazing ride, and I thank you guys for coming along with me so far. Thank you very, very much. I am grateful to you. We have an amazing artist here in the studio today. She is a curator. I think of her as Mother and Auntie Sister Earth because she is always about that peace and her ancestors. She creates some of the safest spaces here in Detroit for poetry and artists. And you guys are going to be privy to the beauty that is BWardPoetry.
Wow, that was nice.
What's up, my darling?
Peace.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. And if I can be transparent, kind of dealing with some grief, it just snuck back up on me. But here I am, allowing it just exist and being transparent.
Oh
Everything.
no, that's okay because we gonna love on each other today. You got the grief and I got the whole face situation is not good right now. Like I just want to be at home in the bed. But we push through as artists. We got to do what we got to do to make it do what it do.
Yes.
Yes. We ain't no punks. We put them capes on and we come on out and we make it do what it do.
That part.
Yes. So we're going to have a beautiful conversation about your artistry and who BWardPoetry is. So before we go any further, tell us about the name BWardPoetry. Why is that your pen name?
Yeah, BWardPoetry. So I wish I could remember the other names or aliases that I went by, but I know it started when I was living in Texas and I wanted to change the way that I performed. I wanted to change what I wrote about, and I wanted to be really specific to me. So I put my name in the poetry. So therefore, I'm not straying away with fancy metaphors or hiding behind my words, my real experiences. This is me. This is BWardPoetry. And it's really as simple as that.
That's what's up. And that's important. Branding. You are branding yourself. Because you are BWard. And you've taken yourself and your name and incorporated it into your art, which is very important. So when people think about poetry, oh, BWard, yeah, BWard poetry.
Yes, yes.
That's smart. I see what you did there. Artists, pay attention. Pay attention to what she's putting down, because she's definitely going to put it down for us today. So you talk about your poetic journey and where you started. You wanted to come up with your name, which is your name. But when did you start writing poetry?
I started writing poetry when I was young in like a little book, which I think, I don't know, I wish I still had it. Keep your artwork, keep your poetry, all that you write, keep that, because you're going to be like, oh, I wish I still had it like I am today. But I started writing when I was young. But I guess the real question for me would be, when did you start performing and actually showing the world your talent and all that? It started in college. Yeah, it started when I took a spoken word course from Dr. Curry at U of M Flint. I'm going to say her name loudly. Dr. Curry from U of M Flint. You know, she came in, you know, Black don't crack, so I thought she was a student, actually. But she came in, and then she was just like, she came in as her intro was a poem, you know, and she's like, you may know me, but da. Next thing you know, she's rolling out the whole syllabus in her piece. And I'm just like,
Wow.
okay, this is a thing, you know what I'm saying? And to see somebody that looked like me, it's just like, okay, I'm intrigued, you know, I'm intrigued. And so from there, I just started, you know, Poets and Writers Society was a club on campus, and I joined that shyly, you know, didn't even perform just yet, just looking at everybody else, looking at Poets in Flint, Key Ray, if you know her, sometimes she comes to my open mic events as well. But yeah, you know, just started in college.
Wow, and I see there's a commonality with a few of my previous guests, that they found the love for the word in college, not before, but it didn't hit them until college. Why didn't you discover your love for the word before you made it to college? What aside from your teacher who brought you there, when did you know that it was important for you to embrace poetry?
Before college?
Like, why didn't you embrace it before college, before it was introduced to you by your teacher?
I guess I embraced my expression in college, but I embraced just writing and releasing as a child. As I secretly went through my trauma, I used the notebooks, you know, that I would secretly write in and write different poetry and just create that way. I don't know where that came from. This need to release or know that I can release through poetry. Maybe it's still back in school. You know, you write these assignments and whatnot. I was always the student, you know, that would be like, I wrote this. And it's like, you didn't need to do that much. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just the need to release.
Yeah, there's power in the word. And you recognize that at a young age. And doing so is taking you into finding this love for the word and creating poetry, curating events, and doing what you do with that love that you found for poetry. And it is most definitely something that will help you out of traumatic situations, get you through a bad day. Instead of reacting with this, you react with this. So it's definitely a very good outlet to release whatever it is that's inside of you. And today we're going to talk about power. Just me researching you and knowing who you are, knowing what it is you do, how strong you are as a wordsmith. We're going to focus on that power today, if that's cool.
Ashe.
Ashe-o, let's go. So why did you start writing poetry after you found this love? What made you start writing?
What made me start writing? You know, I just keep going back to the need to release. You know, it's really simple for me as to why I started writing. It's just the need to release and the need to tell people about it, you know, to get it out of your body. You know, we hold this trauma, these feelings, these thoughts inside of us so much, and then we don't have a place for them to go, and then they're trapped inside of us, and then that shows up in our body, it shows up in our mental health and such and such. That's why you hear a lot of high school classes, middle school classes, they're always like, you know, their creative arts writing program is the most powerful one. Kids love it because kids go through things and they don't always have that outlet to release. So I mean, I don't know, it's just important, the release.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because when we internalize, it just gets it just adds up, it wells up. And if you don't let it go, once you do let it go, it's like a big bomb and you explode and you're like, ah. But if you're writing for that release, it helps you along. Very, 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 I can definitely tap into that and say that poetry has helped me getting me through quite a few situations where I would otherwise act differently or react differently, but poetry reels me in and keeps me together. So which poetic form are you more likely to use when you write? Which do you gravitate to?
Well, first off, for sure, free verse. I mean, because that's the most free and the most unstructured. Because when I approach my writing, I try not to be so structured because that limits. But if I had to narrow it down even more, I would say narrative, where I tell stories, and even sometimes, political, or what is it, satire, when you like kind of approach a serious topic, a political topic through like, satire. I guess that's, pretty much. But all of my works combine a lot of elements, to the point where it's like, what is the genre here? It's just all of the above, whatever comes, whatever flows out.
What comes up comes out and goes on the page and to the stage.
Exactly. Yeah. Literally.
Yes. And you do it very well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So you talked about the different genres what poetic form you usually write in, but what genres do you favor?
If I could be honest, I have trouble with that question, because I thought that poetic form and genre are the same thing, unless you can school me on something. Yeah,
if you write more love poetry, you write more political pieces, erotic, which do you prefer? What genre?
Is healing a genre?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm also just now expanding myself to erotic poetry, just testing my limits to see how far I can go, what I can write about. But yeah, it's really just the phase of my life that I'm in, so I am not phasing out of healing poetry or empowerment poetry, but it's kind of like, once you release something, let it go. You don't want to keep, bringing up your trauma just to talk about it again. And then everybody loves this piece and then you're going to talk about it again. It's like, you kind of have to just kind of let things settle in the dust, if that makes sense. But love. It's such a hard question, because everything, all of the above.
And that's good that you do write in different genres, because that's going to take you far with your poetry, whereas you aren't just pigeonholed into being one type of poet. Your words can travel through different events, different where am I going with this? Like different people. You can reach students, you can reach community members, and if you have pieces for every person, then you'll be able to travel far with your work.
Exactly. Yeah, I wish that purposeful was a genre, because I really enjoy, so I'm a part of the Guild, and I really enjoy working with the Guild because they push you to write for a purpose. Say the engineering, what's it called? The engineering department at U of M Ann Arbor needs a piece to talk about ethical engineering. It's like, okay, you must do your research so you can know what you're talking about, and then you have to transmute that into a poetic, form or poetic words. So, yeah, I really enjoy writing in different channels, challenging myself. I want to write for a purpose. I enjoy writing just because, but I really enjoy writing for a purpose.
And you do it well. I mean,
Thank
every
you.
piece that I've heard of yours, it is telling a story, and it's very poignant, and you seem to select your work for different spaces. So how do you do that? Or you just get into the room? Like for me, I'll go to the room, I'll sit in the back, feel the energy, then that gives me an example of what it is that I should be bringing to the audience. Although I may have in my head what I want to do for them, the energy in the room might shift where I need to bring something else. So how does that work for you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. And when you talk about feeling the energy, it's like, I don't know, you just kind of feel the energy. You have to, first of all, ground yourself to even feel the energy, but that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, I just observe and feel the energy as I walk into a space, and also knowing, like, you know, what is the open mic like? So I may have went to this open mic previously to fill it out, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to perform. There was a time where I just was like, okay, you have to perform. You have nothing, you know, it was like a New Year's resolution where I'm like, I have to perform. Whenever I have the chance to perform, I have to perform, just to kind of push myself. But now it's like, okay, what piece am I going to do? What is relative to this space? What do I think people need to hear also? Because, you know, sometimes I may want to say the complete opposite of the main narrative in that space just because I want to wake some people up. You know, I love waking people up.
Yes.
I do.
Yes, yes, yes. And we talk about power. Our words have power. When did you realize that your words have power? And then I'm going to share a story when I realized mine did.
I want to hear that story. Yeah, so as I'm talking about waking people up, what the moment that I think about is when I first stood on stage for Black Student Union at my college campus, and my advisor was like, go out there and say something, Brittany. And I'm like, this was like, you know, back in the day, Brittany, where she's not doing too much. Probably gonna make a flyer, but she's not about to go out there. And then I did, and I was literally shaking, but like, I felt the power, you know what I'm saying? And then as I continued my experience with Black Student Union at U of M Flint, a predominantly white campus that says it all, I realized how that galvanized people to also be a part of the movements that we are creating. I'm like, oh, this is happening in real time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel it, you know, that's my answer. Like when I first said something on a stage against violence in Flint, you know, it was a lot of gun violence happening in Flint at the time. And, you know, I'm not even gonna get to that, but, yeah, so that was the first time I realized it. I felt it.
Yeah, it's the energy. That poetic energy will definitely fuel you. Yeah, and you felt it. I would love to have been a fly or in that room just to see the reactions from the people when you dropped whatever piece that it is that you dropped in that room. I'm sure it was powerful.
You know, honestly, it wasn't a piece, though. It was actually me just saying what I felt about the events taking place in Flint, what I felt we needed to do as an organization, as a community, you know. And I mean, that pretty much sums up my poetry too. Like I say exactly what I want to say and what changes I want to see when it comes to my political poetry, you know. It's definitely more creative in word usage and such, but it's still the same purpose.
Absolutely, as you should be, an unapologetic artist. Yes. So I realized words had power in the 4th grade when I wrote a letter to a teacher's aide who was trying to tell me what to do, and I wasn't feeling it at all. So I wrote the letter, and a few months later she approached my mom, and they were really excited about the words I used, telling her to basically go kick rocks and leave me the hell alone. Go on somewhere with your opinion. But after I got that whooping, I'm like, well, let me reel some of these words back and be a little bit more selective about what I say and who I say it to. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we'll get into your video, Black Girls. Okay. So do you feel you have a responsibility to deliver the word?
Yes, as it relates to my gifts and my talents that I've been blessed with, yes. But I think my responsibility lays more in how I deliver the word and the place that I come from, which because it's a spiritual element there. So it's like, okay, you must respect the spirit behind the word. You have to respect where these words come from and what they can do for people. You have to respect that power that it has. And so that's what I try to do. Every time I have an event, I try to remain pure in that. It's hard because people just be peopling. But it's like, Jason to tell you. But it's like, I'd be like, so Jason, why? But then, you know, just realizing like, okay, we're just going to approach this with the most purest heart that we can, you know. things happen unintentionally, but at least our intention, my intention, is always to do good amongst the people, amongst the community, and such and so forth. ... Yeah.
Yes, because people do be people.
They do.
That's for sure. So we're going to get into your video, Black Girls.
I said, black girls are so beautiful. With our cocoa skin and pearly smiles, black girls are so beautiful. As we effortlessly shine in darkness and light, our eyes telling of lullabies to wake you up at night. Black girls are so beautiful. Even when we sit and think about what's for dinner, black girls are forever winners with our past lives. Natural plum lips, hips, and thighs, our bodies carry rolls that stretch and leave marks of life. Black girls move to vibrations we feel in our bones, kicking up fairy dust that we brought from our homes. Moving body parts that embrace our sexuality the way we want to. Black girls keep their kinks concealed and untouchable, revealed and lovable. With our box braids, crochet and starter locks intertwined with wisdom and black owned. Black girls have enough power to remove you from your so-called throne. Twirling wands with our fingers as we cast spells for your characters. Every day we try our best not to burst, but we do it anyway. And release necessary lessons of truth, sacrifice, healing, all over your bullshit. Black girls are so beautiful. Black girls are worthy of all the praise and abundance. We are unwrapped gifts, creating our own holidays every time we gather. Black girls are women, both childish and mature. Free to laugh and cry, play and play some more. Dance and be still. Take time out and tap, tap, tap in. Black girls are so beautiful. Way back then and now. Black girls are magic. And do too. Just like who do you think you are to be so beautiful? Black girl.
Yes. Who do you think you are to be so beautiful, black girl? Yes, you better talk about it. Yes, that was dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
You had Sid back there on the guitar,
Right.
and you walked it down. You really finessed that piece. Some people, when they perform with music, they don't actually know how to finesse the piece so that it flows with the music. How did you find? Do you find the rhythm when you perform with music?
Yeah, it's a frequency. So it's like my voice may have sounded a little bit deeper there if you listen. And you just kind of like gotta like, man, I wish I can explain this. Because I come from a spiritual lens to this, I don't want to call it this work, And it's just like, I also make music too. I listen to a lot of music. I have an eclectic taste in music, so I guess that adds to it. You just got to listen to the bass. You got to listen to the tone of the sound, and you have to kind of like be at the same pace as the music. Sydney, he was just like, and so I have to also. Now, if he was playing like, Dun, 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 dun. I was like, black girls are so beautiful with all effort, you know. Da, da, da.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. It's just feel the music.
Absolutely. Tap into that frequency.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yes, yes. If anyone would like to call in and ask B. Ward any questions, the call-in number is 313-266-2811, or call in and drop us a haiku on Power. That is our topic for today. So you curate some of the dopest events at some of the dopest spots here in Detroit, and I have you to thank for introducing me to quite a few spaces here in the city. What made you start curating poetry events?
Jason? No, I'm just
I can believe it.
No, I don't know. What was it? Because it's like, I was thinking like, because I've always been creating events. Like, I'm going to put on an event, you know, poetry, event with my sorority. I'm going to put on an event. But then I saw, literally, this is how it started, you know, honestly. Jason posted something on his Facebook. He was like, who is a poet in Detroit and would like to host an open mic or something like that. And then I was like, actually talked it over with my dad. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about hosting open mics. And he was like, okay, because I'm always doing something. He's like, really? You should hit him back. Da 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 da. And then, you know, I hit Jason back, and he ain't know that I lived in Detroit because I so much Flint on my page, you know. And then I'm like, yeah, I live in Detroit. I just went to Flint for 5 years for school. Okay. And then he's like, okay. I don't even remember how it happened, but I just got in conversation with him, you know. And then we're like looking for a venue space, and then it just kind of took off from there. Now, why I kept doing it is because I love to curate spaces of release. You know, you could fill in the word poetry with anything. It's like, why do you create spaces, Brittany? And I'm like, because I love to see people feel free in their bodies, feel free in their identity, feel free just existing. And I love to cultivate love and community. Like, it just feels so good to see that and witness that. And know I had a hand in creating it, you know.
Yes, and you do it well.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. So which of the spaces that you've hosted events is your favorite here in Detroit?
Honestly, it's Spotlight. You know, Spotlight with Sunrise Detroit, because it's really free there. You know, I visited that place first as a dance floor, and I was like, ooh, I like this. Yeah, and then I call it a portal, because it's just so many different people come from different walks of life, but we all about to do the same thing tonight, you know what I'm saying? Or this morning, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, it would be Spotlight. And, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. But I don't think I've ever been there. Where is that?
Spotlight is on a street that I should know the name of.
Okay. Okay. We'll figure it out later. Let me know the next time
Definitely
you're
on
going
the
to be
east
there.
side.
Okay.
Definitely on the east side. That's messed up. I should know.
So when you take the stage, you light incense when you perform. Why is that?
Yeah, because I be, you know, my nerves be shaking. You know what I'm saying? You could call it I just be nervous, or you can call it spirit be moving. I'm going to say spirit be moving, you know, and I just got to calm myself. But I don't know. It just calms myself. So it's something happening there, you know, call it what you want. But I also notice that the audience calms, and then those that come up to the stage is calm. You know, I just want to... When you smell that Nak Champa, what they say is like the poet's incense.
Yes.
But it's like, dang, it smells good. What? You know?
Right.
But when you smell it, you just kind of calm yourself. You know, you be at home, you light incense, you calm yourself. A candle, calm yourself. It's something to it. You know, I don't know the scientific terms, but it's spirit, honestly. It's the wind, it's the breath. As we speak about elements, you know, bringing elements to the stage.
Yeah, that's dope. I can see it. I can smell it. I'm smelling what you're putting down.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because once you said Notch Champa, I kind of smelled the aura of it just by the mention of the name. Yeah, that's dope. You're one of the only poets that I've seen here in the city do that, and that's just like your signature. Yeah, it's dope. And you also call on the ancestors and the earth with your performances. Why is that important for you to do that, and why do you do that?
It speaks to your previous question about the responsibility piece, and I feel like I have a responsibility to bring them to the stage, to bring my ancestors, to open up the space for, other people to bring their ancestors on stage. And it also brings people back to realize why we're doing this work in the first place, why we are releasing ourselves and the importance of it, and it brings me back to, remove ego, because ego be there, people looking at you, wow, let's be real. But it's like, to respect where these words came from and the journey that it took, the spiritual aspect to that journey that allowed it to even take place. It's just like this whole reverence and respect thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we have to pay homage to the ancestors, because without them, we wouldn't be here. We learned our lessons from them, and whether we believe it or not, they are still looking out for us
Ashe.
when we need them. Like, for real.
Yes, like, for real.
Yes. All my ancestors were in my dreams Friday evening. I was in so much pain. They just came and comforted me. And it was exactly what I needed when I needed it. Yes.
Ashe, yes. Yeah, so like, come through to the open mics, ancestors, we need you.
Yes, absolutely. So can you drop us a piece?
Oh, I sure can drop you a piece or two.
Yes. Just give us one right now.
Okay. Which one should I perform? I'm gonna perform this poem that I don't normally have a lot of spaces where I can perform this poem.
Okay.
Cause it's kind of, but after the Roe versus Wade, I realized that this poem was specific to that, but I didn't write it for Roe versus Wade and everything that went with that. But I do want to perform that, and I do want to say Roe versus Wade before I perform this poem, as we talk about purposeful poetry. But this is just a poem about, my experience as a woman and how I translate a lot of the BS that goes on with that. So here it goes.
Let's get it.
You don't know what it takes. You don't know what it takes to exist in this body that bleeds and sheds. Yes, this is a poem about periods. About cycles and close call pregnancies. I'm tired of switching between pussy and vagina when I'm not even horny. I refuse to put limits on all she can be. The warmest, tightest hug. The beginning of all humanity. Known to drive a boy to insanity. Sucks that we have to over-sexualize just to maintain comfortability. Gotta be for men, because all women know this is happening. But you're gonna love this pussy, eat it out, and buy me CVS tings. Not in that order, obviously. Talk about a red flag. I pray you learn to appreciate your majesty. Her Excellency, formerly known as Miss Drive You Crazy, because it's from a space of triple moist darkness you came to be. How can something that's been happening to women for centuries be disgusting? Fuck the patriarchy, this vagina bleeds. Every month, and you wish your penis was as complex as these ovaries. I'm over it. But shout out to the man who patiently wait and asks if there's anything you need from me. Baby, just give me 3 more days and you can have this pussy. That's that piece.
Oh, yes. Yes. So necessary. And there's always a space for that piece. Considering where we are right now politically, how women's bodies are being subjected to a group of people who don't even have pussies, who know nothing about a pussy.
Truly.
Probably never even had any pussy.
Truly.
But we're subjected to these laws. And I really feel for my nieces and my great nieces and my great great nieces coming up, because they aren't going to be afforded the rights that I had, that my aunties had, that my mothers had. So that piece is very, very important. So whenever you get a chance to spit that shit,
okay, because you told me to. So next time y'all hearing me,
yes, spit that shit.
One thing Rose says, I'm gonna say it right before I can say this poem. So bear with me.
Yes, yes, shoot. Make people
I
uncomfortable
know, right?
with that art. Get them into uncomfortable spaces, and that gives people something to think about, a thought to ponder. That may change their way of thinking about some things. Like you touched on going to CVS. Some men won't even go to CVS to buy feminine products for their woman who they say they love, what they love to occupy that space, but they won't do what it takes to keep that space going. So yeah, that piece is very, very necessary. Yeah, I want to say hey to Squeeze. Squeeze is listening, and hey Richard. Richard is always coming on to everybody's podcast. Hey there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all having a good time listening to BWard and her poetry. I told you guys you were going to be in awe as much as I am, and very much entertained, because she's got a lot of power in that word, definitely, and she is doing the damn thing here in the city for the word. So we just did this event at the Irwin House called Off the Mic, which was absolutely amazing and very necessary. What is the premise behind Off the Mic?
Off the Mic currently is still a work in progress, but I will say from the start of it, it was a conversation between me and Three-Faced Poet. He shared his thoughts about an event to bring together artists, to bring together poets, and just celebrate, us existing together in one space, because there's not really any spaces that aren't virtual for us to just exist and not perform, not to be a competition, not to, have a slam, but literally just to exist and celebrate our collective existence. So that's what it started off as. And after that event that you're talking about, it grew into this more, we want to focus on history and archive. We want to focus on providing workshops and opportunities for poets. We want to focus on our role as a community as we curate and go to and experience spaces that should be safe and that should, not censor people because people feel uncomfortable with their identity. And I mean, it's growing, so those three sectors could change as well. How we frame them could change, but it's literally building as we have events, as we hear from people as yourself speak, OG poets in the game, Aurora Harris, Amari Barksdale, Three-Faced Poet, DJ Sparrow. Am I missing anyone? Because I don't want to. Gabby, Sheezy Bobo, Sheezy Bobeezy. And also reaching out to more poets that are just fresh in the game as well, hearing from them why they don't go to certain spaces. I heard Viney talk about she wants to create spaces where a predator feels uncomfortable. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what Off the Mic could be and should be, because I don't want it to just be like BWard, Squeeze, Three-Face is off. I want it to be like this collective effort. That's why I push people to fill out the form so we can get your name, answer some of these questions that's specific to you as a poet in Detroit, so we can create this space together, but that's Off the Mic so far, ... More to
come. We need more safe spaces, and we need people to know that we are creating these safe spaces, and once you get there, if you're not going to make it safe, then you don't need to be there. Find something else for you to do. We appreciate the support, but we want to feel safe enjoying this thing called art. We want to feel safe sharing pieces of ourselves on the microphone, no matter where it is, no matter what venue we're in. And that's important, because if you don't feel safe, it stifles the artist. And we need to be able to express ourselves safely.
Yes.
So, I applaud you, and thank you so much for creating those types of spaces here in
Thanks
the
for supporting and coming through.
Absolutely. So where has poetry taken you?
Poetry, where has it taken me? As it relates to, like, what exactly are you saying? Like
where has it taken you physically, and where has it taken you mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Because I approach spoken word with such a spiritual lens, I'll say first where it has taken me mentally, it's taken me through journeys of healing, And where has it taken me physically? I mean, I take spoken word wherever I am. So, you know, I started my journey in Detroit, and then I graduated from high school and I went to Flint for 5 years. And then from Flint, I went to Texas. And then from Texas, I went to Arizona. And then I graduated, and then I came back to Detroit. But it's like I carried the spoken word with me in those different sectors, whatever was needed in those spaces. Either it's just me performing, or even it's just me writing purposeful poetry for the projects that I'm literally working on in school, and incorporating that into like even my thesis project and, you know, events that I'm throwing. So I don't know. It's like this hand in hand thing. Where has it taken me? Where has I, you know, where did I take it? Where does it take, you know, It's just ends up from people hearing me speak the spoken word. I guess it has taken me into spaces where I can, like this, for example, reflect on it. It's taken me into a dope podcast, you know, opportunity to share what I'm doing. It's taking me into spaces that people trust, that I'm going to bring my full self, and that I'm transparent enough to even be in their spaces. I don't know. It's just, it's giving me a lot of trust in community. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And what are the goals that you have for yourself with poetry?
2 words. I think it's 2 words. Secure funding. Like, I really have like I say, I'm gonna throw an event, but you know what I'm tired of?
What?
Tired of throwing an event and being like, okay, well, you know, because I'm gonna make it happen too. I'm gonna throw an event and I'm gonna make it happen. But I'm tired of, you know, trying to just pull together what you can for what you can when you can do it. Okay, we got it, cool. Okay, now I gotta carry this, and I gotta put this big ladder in my car, and I have to do this and that and this. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to secure funding. I want to not have to always pull out of pocket. You know, I want to actually even have events where, okay, well, whatever we receive at the door, we split that with the poets. You know, that's the best way to do it. But also, I want to be like, yeah, we're going to give you $200 to perform. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say that for poets. You know, I want to create opportunity for poets. So this is a route that I've never taken. I know it's possible because I've seen it done before, but it's just like I want to, you know, actually create structures that can leave a physical legacy, not just like, oh, I remember BWard, she used to have those events. You know, it's like, no, she created something that like is still here and still thriving, you know, respectfully. So yeah, that's where it is. And also I'm working on a book. Yeah, as I say that for the 2nd year in a row.
Dope.
I've been working on a book. It's like, yeah, gonna get this book out. You know, Ashe. It is so.
Yeah, you got this. When it's time for it to be born,
I know, right? I know,
it
right?
will be.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's the incubation period. It's still nurturing itself in the womb, and you know, when it's ready to be born, it will most definitely come on out.
Thank you.
And there are, I mean, you support so many different people and so many different venues, so many different products. Tap into some of those people to sponsor some of your events.
Okay.
Yeah, that would definitely help you. And I got a couple resources I'll send your way.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So can you drop us one more piece?
I sure can. This last piece is in reverence of my father. Like I started off saying, I've been dealing with that. So it's like, as I speak about my poetry speaks to what I'm going through, I'm going to speak this piece that I wrote about my father. I actually performed it at the Foundations of Fatherhood, which I've never heard of. It was like a workshop for fathers in Detroit.
Nice.
Yeah, and then they reached out to me to perform, and they literally had no idea that I had experienced this. So It was literally right on time. Just like you was right on time, but that's another conversation.
Okay.
But okay. I'm going to try to do this without crying, but if I do, just bear with me, y'all. It's really okay. You know what I'm saying? Grief is a thing, and it just is what it is.
You in a safe space. Do your thing, boo-boo.
Okay. I miss my dad every day now. This grief grows like a weeping willow, like cool shade on the other side of pillow, like protection that feels somewhat spiritual. But I miss you in the physical. 30 years with me, 3 weeks at the hospital. His forehead, I kissed it. His hand, I held it. Thinking I'm still too young for these growing pains. His breath, was last to remain. It left his body and filled my own life, now reflects his impact on mine. Thinking back, I was just a little kid, snotty nose, putting on his work boots, something fun to do, running errands endlessly just to spend time with you. Sitting at the kitchen table as you paid the bills, I could only imagine the ticket for a house with 3 kids. Waking up on a school night when I heard you come home from Chrysler. We secretly ate fries and spoke laughter. Good nights. You gave me kisses on my forehead. That's the love I knew. Good mornings. Gathered my kinks and coils when mama needed you to. Good evenings. Cooked me home on a platter or TV dinners that would just have to do. I miss you. And your protection. Drawn out lessons, familial blessings, forgotten instructions that I see now shape me. He raised me like a father figuring it out. Fed my closed mouth. You seemed to speak my language when everyone wondered what I was crying about. Thank you for those moments you didn't judge when I wore out the house. I was still your firstborn daughter. Anything she wanted, you bought her. Remembered the music just like you taught her. I miss my dad every day now. But I'm grateful to have something to miss, something to write, something that feels it. Good luck to the man who tried. Good luck to me not accepting any type of guy. My dad did everything he could. There's no such thing as perfect, but I know if it was achievable, he would. Ashe.
Ashe, oh, yes. Yes. Yes, that's dope. I can see why they wanted you to perform that piece.
Yeah.
Because it celebrates men, and we bash men so much. We don't celebrate them as much as we should. And I mean, that's another poetic topic. Because we should be celebrating our brothers a whole lot more. But brothers, some of y'all make it hard for y'all to be celebrated. I'm just going to keep it real. That's church, tabernacle, mosque, So tell us where we can find you on the socials.
You can find me at BWardPoetry on Instagram and on Facebook. That's BWardPoetry, or you can just go on www.BrittanyWard, that's BRITTINIWARD.com, www.BrittanyWard.com, or BWardPoetry.
Yes, y'all connect and tap in to B Ward. She has some amazing events coming up. She's curating safe spaces. You've heard her poetry. She's got the word. And she's just a beautiful spirit, speaking power into the universe. Thank you so much for coming on and being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I look forward to everything that you have going on, and we're going to secure some funding for you.
Ashe.
Yes. And make it do what it do.
Make it do what it do, baby.
We are here every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find us at Podcastic, simply Podcastic on Facebook, or go to podcastic.com to catch up on any of the prior episodes, or go to One Single Rose on Facebook. And we keep everything updated so that you guys can be in the know of what's going on poetically here in the city and in different areas of the world. We do have our next guest next week will be Afi, and a few other surprises coming up. So y'all stay tuned to Poetic Podcast, and thank y'all so much for the love. I'm going to leave you guys with a piece, since we ended with something for the fellas. This is for you guys. It's called Goliath Brown. Never knew equality after being subjected to prejudices spent worldwide. Chocolate, mahogany, hazel, sienna, olive. My actions have always been typified by the darkness of my skin. Perceived as a threat since the beginning of time, a man like me was present the Monday after God created the heavens and the earth. My struggle began with why in the womb and has since plagued my existence. Why do opportunities that fall into my lap scrutinize my very being? Why does Matthew take home more pay than Laquan, but they both do the same job? Why do leisurely afternoon drives become DWB breaking news at 5? Why was I terminated after training a fair-skinned equal who had no experience before we met? Why are my species incarcerated, being taught trade so they return as productive members of society only to find more padlock entrances where they're qualified to roam free? Tears wet for me, BC and AD. I knew nothing about theft before my ancestors were stolen from the motherland. Keloids from their wombs, keloids from their salted wombs on my back break me down, but I will not buckle after being backed into a corner. Stones thrown my way were bubblegum chewed and excreted in front of every plantation door. Always imitated but never duplicated. Two of any other kind could never produce one of me. I wrestle in the shadows as a black man while my inner light fills the cosmos, because I am a star. One single rose, no stem. See y'all next week.
Woo-wee.
Taking some time to keep it real. I'm gonna give it to you straight up in your face with no chasers. All I'm trying to do, love, spreading love, real love, putting y'all up on game. Pay attention, make sure the